100 worms are now for our garden. I'm going to take them home and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these worms. Worm hunting, folks, here at GBL-The Old Church 5-acre homestead. Good morning, folks. Garry here from GBL-The Old Church 5-acre homestead. Welcome to this mozzie, rainy, miserable Friday morning. TGIF indeed. This is also the Memorial Weekend for our cousins in the United States of America who will be attending lots of events over this weekend, memorializing many of those soldiers that have died in all of the great wars and in recent conflicts around the world. So Memorial Day is Monday. So I wanna say a special hello to all of my American friends who will be attending, as I said, events memorializing and remembering all of those fallen soldiers in all of the wars. Now, it is TGIF video, and Mr. Garry has been doing something quite interesting this morning already, even though it is quite cold and miserable, and I want to tell you a little bit about that. I have been worm hunting. That's right. I have been out on the go near my house hunting for worms, and I'm going to explain all that to you in a second. But as usual, I have to get my garbage out to the curb. I wonder how much garbage we have today. Let's take a look together. So here's our garbage in its usual spot next to the patio, next to the bridge or the steps, and let's take a look inside. This one looks like it's full. It's full of garbage and some recyclables. Let's check the other one. Let's check the other one and see how much is in this second one. Oh, I like this, folks. The second one is empty, the same as last week. Just one garbage container. I like that very, very much because it means that we are reducing our environmental footprint by having less garbage. There we go. So we're going to take this garbage container out to the curb, and we're going to talk about the weather as well. It is only 2 degrees Celsius right now, and that's the equivalent of 34.6, I do believe, Fahrenheit. And we're going to be heading up to only 7 degrees Celsius, which I think is 44.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So not going to be a warm day. And it is also rainy and miserable and cold and damp this morning. Here's our garbage. And I was telling you that I was out worm hunting this morning. I went out on my road right here. And in fact, it looks like I missed a few. There's some worms on the asphalt on our cul-de-sac. And if I zoom in, you can see one right there. And I think there might be another one over here. And I must come out and get them. Look, how did I miss these this morning? There's a second one. And if I come over here, here's a third one. So I'm going to come out and get these 3 worms now very, very soon with my container. I'm going to show you a little video now in a second showing my worm collecting adventure this morning. But let me take you back to the step and show you the stainless steel bowl and the little trowel that I used this morning to collect over 100 worms. Just look at that. Look at that. I'm going to explain this to you in a couple of videos that I've recorded earlier this morning, and that's going to be next in this video. But don't go away. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel. I got a couple of more things I want to show you in this TGIF, in this Friday update video, folks. Watch this next couple of clips about worm hunting. We are worm hunting this morning. We are catching worms for our gardens today. I'm just going to get them off the road here. And Mr. Garry's going to show you what I'm going to be doing with these. There's lots and lots of worms on the road next to our house this morning. We've had rain overnight, and there's lots and lots of worms. There we go. I'm going to be collecting them, and I'll show you exactly what to do with these worms. Come on, Mr. Worm. There we go. Sure. Put you in this container. Now let's keep doing that. Let's see how many we get. So I'm continuing hunting for worms, folks. I'm doing quite well. I'm still here on my street, and next to my stainless steel bowl here, there's several worms. You can probably see them in the camera. They're just here lying on the asphalt road. and I'm going to be getting them with my spade here, and look all across the road here. See if we can zoom in. You can see quite a few on the pavement there. Straight ahead there, you can see there's like 5 or 6 right there straight ahead on the camera. I'm going to be getting those and putting them in this stainless steel bowl. Worms for our garden. I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. I've collected about 100 worms here now, folks, and there's one there right next to my dish, and just gently does it, and there you go. I have about 100 worms here now for our garden. I'm going to take them home, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these worms. Worm hunting, folks, here at GBL, the Old Church, 5-acre homestead. Okay, so now I'm back by my raised bed vegetable garden, and I'm here next to the stainless steel bowl where I've been collecting worms this morning. And here's what I'm planning on doing with these worms. And I do this, folks, after a rain every spring. I go out collecting worms around my garden and around my street, and I just take a few, and I normally use my hands, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll go inside and wash them, of course. But I'll take a few, and I'll just spread them over the beds, just like this, and they'll find their way. They'll find their way down through the soil. Let me get over here. There's another bed, and I'll spread these out over the top of the soil, and like I said, they'll find their way down through the soil. Okay, these worms, they will do wonders for our soil. They'll aerate the soil, they'll poop in the soil, and head castings to the soil. So they do great things for your garden soil. They aerate it, which is a good thing, and they make little holes in the soil. So then when you're watering, the water that you water on the top of your soil goes all the way down through the little holes that the worms make. So I'm going from bed to bed this morning, and I'm just sprinkling out a few of these worms. See that? Just a few in each bed. Now there's hundreds of worms in these beds because we've been doing this for a few years now. And when Mr. James comes and visits, James likes going out and collecting the worms too and putting them in our beds. We go toad hunting too, Mr. James and I, and we bring toads back to our garden. Now, we don't put the toads in our beds, of course, but we do put them near the beds because they like to eat all the snails and slugs. So if you can find some toads, there we go, see that? I'm just throwing a few on these beds, and like I said, they'll work their way down through the soil, and they'll do great things for our beds. Now, Mr. Garry, make sure you got enough for every bed. And now I'll come back in a second, and I'll show you that I have all these worms in my garden. Okay, my stainless steel bowl is empty. All of our beds has worms in it now. Several piles. This one over here is already working his way down through the soil, as you can see right there. Folks, worms for your garden, go out on your street and get them, and bring them back and put them in your garden beds. And like I said, worms do wonders. They do great things for your garden soil. There's that seaweed that I collected a couple of days ago. That's going to be going in our beds very soon as well. There's a little bit of grass and straw left there that I've collected from my neighbors. And here's our culture beds. They're getting quite full. So we'll be finishing those up very soon, topping them up with a bit of that seaweed, and then we'll be putting in some compost and some soil in these 2 beds. And we'll be using these 2 culture beds this spring in our garden for the very first time. There's our TGIF video, folks. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that very much. Mr. Garry here saying thank you for liking our videos. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for leaving those great comments. And thank you for subscribing. Have a great weekend to our cousins and friends in the good old US of A. Attend those memorial events this weekend. Okay, remember all of those fallen soldiers. Do take part in those memorials and those activities. It's very important to remember the sacrifice that these soldiers made. They gave, ultimately, their lives so that we can have freedom and democracy. So it's important that you do that. The roads and the highways and byways are going to be very busy in the US of A this weekend. So do drive safe. Do be careful. Everyone, have a great, great long weekend. Enjoy it. And Mr. Garry signing out, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye for now.